If you're over 35, working hard every single day, paying your bills on time, and still wondering why your bank account never seems to grow, this video is for you. Because the truth is, most people are not broke because they don't earn enough money. They stay broke because of financial habits they repeat every month without even realizing it. And the scary part? Some of these habits actually look normal. Society accepts them. Your friends do them. Your coworkers do them. Maybe even your parents did them. But in 2026, normal financial behavior is keeping millions of people stressed, trapped, and constantly living paycheck to paycheck. Let me be honest. You can earn $50,000 a year or $250,000 a year and still struggle financially if your habits are wrong. I've seen people with high salaries drowning in debt, and I've seen average income families quietly build wealth over time. The difference is rarely luck. It's behavior. And today, we're talking about the money habits silently keeping people poor in 2026, especially adults over 35 who feel like they should be further ahead financially by now. If even one of these habits sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Because small financial mistakes repeated for years become very expensive. So before you make another money decision this week, watch this carefully. Most people don't realize this, but one of the biggest reasons they never build wealth is because they increase their lifestyle every time their income increases. A raise comes in, and suddenly there's a newer car, a more expensive phone, bigger house payments, more subscriptions, more dining out, more monthly obligations. At first, it feels harmless. You tell yourself, I work hard. I deserve this. And yes, you do deserve to enjoy life. But the problem starts when your expenses rise as fast as your income. Because now, instead of creating freedom, your higher salary creates a more expensive trap. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people making the same amount of money. One person gets a raise and immediately upgrades everything in their life. The other person keeps their lifestyle mostly the same and invests the extra income. 5 years later, the first person still feels broke despite earning more than ever. The second person has savings, investments, lower stress, and actual financial security. Same income, different habits. Most people never stop to ask themselves one important question. Am I buying this because I truly need it? Or because I want to look successful? That question matters more than people think. In today's world, people are spending money to impress strangers who honestly are not thinking about them at all. Expensive cars, luxury brands, huge birthday parties, constant upgrades. Meanwhile, retirement savings are empty. Emergency funds barely exist. And credit card balances keep growing quietly in the background. That's dangerous, especially after 40, because at some point, financial pressure stops feeling temporary. It starts affecting your sleep, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind. And here's another habit quietly destroying people financially in 2026. Depending too much on debt for everyday living. Credit cards are now normal for groceries, normal for vacations, normal for monthly bills, normal for emergencies. But let me be honest, debt feels small in the moment because minimum payments create the illusion of affordability. That's how people get trapped. A $200 payment doesn't feel scary, but 10 different $200 payments? That changes everything. Now your future income is already spent before your paycheck even arrives. Most people don't realize this until they suddenly feel financially suffocated. And the worst part is many adults continue carrying debt for years because they're embarrassed to face the numbers honestly. They avoid checking balances. They avoid budgeting. They avoid difficult conversations. But ignoring debt never makes it smaller. Interest keeps growing quietly every single month. Think about this. A person paying only minimum payments on credit cards can spend years paying back things they don't even own anymore. Meals are gone. Vacations are over. Clothes are outdated. But the debt remains. That's not financial freedom. That's financial exhaustion. A smarter approach is simple. If you use credit cards, treat them like cash. If you cannot pay it off quickly, reconsider buying it. And most importantly, stop financing a lifestyle your income cannot comfortably support. Because financial peace is worth more than temporary appearances. Now let's talk about another money habit people ignore for decades: not investing early enough. This is one of the most expensive mistakes adults make after 35. People think investing is only for wealthy people, or they think it's too late to start, so they delay it year after year. I'll start next year. Things are tight right now. I need more money first. But time matters more than perfection. Even small investments grow dramatically over long periods. Most people don't become wealthy because they pick magical stocks. They become wealthy because they started consistently and stayed patient. That's it. Let me give you a simple example. Two people invest the same amount monthly. One starts at 25. The other starts at 45. The younger investor may contribute less money overall, but still end up with significantly more wealth because of time and compound growth. That's the power most people underestimate. And in 2026, this matters even more because inflation quietly destroys idle money. Money sitting untouched, without growth, slowly loses purchasing power every year, which means saving alone is no longer enough. You need your money working too. Now, I'm not saying you should gamble your life savings. I'm saying financial education is no longer optional. Even basic investing knowledge can completely change your future. And honestly, many people avoid learning because money feels overwhelming. But avoiding financial knowledge is expensive, very expensive. Because if you don't understand money, someone else will always profit from your lack of understanding. Banks, lenders, marketers, companies selling things you don't actually need. That's why wealthy people spend time learning financial skills while most people spend time consuming more things. And that difference grows larger every year. The hard truth is this: your income matters, but your habits matter more. A person making average money with strong financial discipline will often outperform someone earning six figures with terrible habits. Because wealth is usually built quietly, not loudly, not through showing off, not through constant spending, but through consistency, patience, and smart decisions repeated over time. And unfortunately, social media has made this harder than ever. Every day, people compare themselves to lifestyles they cannot realistically afford. They see vacations, luxury homes, expensive watches, and successful-looking people online. But what they don't see is the debt, the stress, the financial pressure behind the scenes. Most people don't realize this. Looking rich and being financially secure are completely different things. Let me tell you something many people over 40 quietly struggle with. They regret not taking money more seriously earlier in life. Not because they wanted to become millionaires overnight, but because they wanted peace. They wanted options. They wanted freedom from constant financial anxiety. And the reality is, financial stress hits differently as you get older. In your 20s, mistakes feel temporary. In your 30s, you still feel like you have time. But once people reach their 40s and 50s, reality starts becoming louder. Retirement gets closer. Health expenses increase. Family responsibilities grow. Parents may need support. Children may need college tuition. And suddenly, every bad financial habit from the past starts showing up all at once. That's why ignoring your money habits today can create serious pressure later. Most people don't become financially stuck overnight. It happens slowly, one bad decision at a time, one unnecessary payment at a time, 1 year of procrastination at a time. And one of the biggest habits keeping people poor in 2026 is something almost nobody talks about: depending on one single source of income forever. Now, I understand not everyone wants to build a business. Not everyone wants side hustles or complicated investments. But relying entirely on one paycheck in today's economy is risky. Companies downsize. Industries change. Technology replaces jobs faster than ever. And many hardworking people discover too late that job security is not the same thing as financial security. There's a huge difference. Financial security means you have options, even if life changes suddenly. Maybe that means investments, maybe rental income, maybe freelancing skills, maybe a small online business, maybe dividend income. The point is not becoming rich overnight. The point is creating breathing room. Because when all your income comes from one place, fear controls your decisions. You tolerate jobs you hate. You delay retirement. You panic during emergencies. And stress becomes a permanent part of life. Let me be honest. Many people earning good salaries are still one emergency away from financial disaster. That should concern all of us, especially in a world where prices continue rising faster than many incomes. And here's another harsh truth people avoid hearing. Most financial problems are behavior problems, not math problems. People already know they should save more, spend less, avoid unnecessary debt, invest consistently. But knowledge alone changes nothing. Execution matters. Daily habits matter. Discipline matters. That's the uncomfortable part. Because changing financial habits also means changing emotional habits. Sometimes people spend money because they're stressed. Sometimes because they're bored. Sometimes because shopping feels like a reward after difficult days. And companies understand this psychology extremely well. That's why advertisements constantly push urgency. Limited time, buy now, upgrade today. The entire system encourages emotional spending. But wealthy people learn something important. Every dollar has a job. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Is this helping my future or hurting it?" That single mindset shift changes everything. Now, I'm not saying you should never enjoy your life. Money is also meant to improve your quality of life. Take vacations. Enjoy experiences. Spend on things that truly matter to you. But intentional spending is very different from unconscious spending. And most people never stop long enough to examine where their money actually goes each month. That's why budgeting matters. Not because budgeting is exciting, but because clarity creates control. Most people fear budgeting because they think it feels restrictive. In reality, the opposite is true. A good budget gives freedom. Because when you know where your money is going, you stop feeling lost financially. You stop guessing. You stop hoping things somehow improve magically. And you start making decisions with confidence. Now here's the reality check many people need to hear. Nobody is coming to rescue your financial future. Not your employer. Not the government. Not luck. Your future lifestyle depends heavily on the habits you build right now. And the earlier you accept responsibility for your financial life, the faster things can improve. Even small changes matter. Cutting unnecessary subscriptions, paying off high-interest debt, cooking at home more often, investing consistently, tracking spending weekly, building an emergency fund. These sound simple because they are simple. But simple does not mean easy. The people who become financially stable are usually the people willing to stay consistent with boring habits for years. That's the secret most people overlook. Wealth is often boring. It's discipline, repeated quietly over time. Not flashy purchases. Not pretending to be successful online. Not chasing shortcuts. And honestly, many people watching this video are probably not lazy. They're just financially distracted. Distracted by comparison. Distracted by social pressure. Distracted by consumer culture, constantly telling them to spend more. But you do not need to impress people who are not paying your bills. You need to protect your future. Because financial freedom is not about becoming famous or showing off luxury online. It's about sleeping peacefully at night. It's about having choices. It's about reducing stress. It's about knowing one emergency will not destroy your life. That's real wealth. So if you recognize some of these habits in your own life, don't feel discouraged. Awareness is the first step. Most people stay trapped because they refuse to look honestly at their situation. You're already ahead if you're willing to learn and improve. Start small. Stay consistent. And remember this: small, smart decisions repeated over time can completely change your financial future. If this video helped you think differently about money, comment below and tell me which habit you think hurts people the most today. And be honest. I read the comments carefully because real financial conversations matter. Also, share this video with someone who works hard but still struggles financially. It might genuinely help them. And if you want more practical videos about saving money, building wealth, avoiding financial mistakes, and creating long-term financial security after 35, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because in 2026, financial education is no longer optional. It's survival.